The 2026 FIFA World Cup, the biggest sporting event on earth, started few days ago. And before a single ball was kicked, it was already at the center of the biggest political controversy in World Cup history. Africa's best referee of the year, invited by FIFA with a valid US visa, flew to Miami on June 7 and was turned back at the airport. He never got to referee a single match. The Iranian national team, qualified for the World Cup, cannot stay in the United States. They are based in Mexico, flying in for their games and flying out the same day. 15 Iranian team officials denied visas altogether. Fans from Iran, Haiti, Ivory Coast, and Senegal, 4 World Cup nations, banned from attending games on American soil. The same Donald Trump who promised FIFA in 2018 that all eligible athletes, officials, and fans from all countries around the world would be able to enter the United States without discrimination is the same Donald Trump who is now running the immigration policy that is making those promises impossible. How did the world's greatest football tournament become entangled in America's most divisive political issue? This is the complete verified truth about Trump's immigration ban and what it is doing to FIFA World Cup 2026. On AK World Vision, I am Amrendra Kumar. Welcome to AK World Vision. Today, a breaking story that is unfolding as the World Cup itself begins. Let's get into it. To understand this story, you have to start with the promise. In 2018, when the United States was bidding to co-host the 2026 World Cup, President Donald Trump wrote a formal letter to FIFA. In that letter, he promised all eligible athletes, officials, and fans from all countries around the world would be able to enter the United States without discrimination. He said he was confident the US would host in a similarly open and festive manner to previous tournaments. The US got the bid. Trump returned to the White House in 2025, and the promises made in 2018 began colliding with the immigration policies of 2025 and 2026. Trump's travel ban, which has evolved through multiple executive orders, now covers 39 countries with either full or partial entry restrictions. For 19 of those countries, all visa issuance has been suspended. 4 of those countries have World Cup teams. Iran and Haiti full entry ban. Ivory Coast and Senegal partial restrictions. The Trump administration did include a carve out, a specific exception for players, coaches, and immediate support staff traveling for the World Cup. Most players have been allowed in, but the carve out does not extend to fans. If you support Iran, if you support Haiti, if you support Ivory Coast or Senegal and you want to watch your team play on American soil, you are not welcome. But the story that shocked the world, the one that put this controversy on every front page, was not about a fan. It was about a referee, Omar Abdulkadir Artan. FIFA selected 52 referees for the 2026 World Cup from across the entire world. Artan was one of them. He was named Africa's best male referee of 2025. In an interview earlier this year, he spoke about the journey to get here. You cannot give up as a referee. You have to have a target. I had this target, but it was not an easy job. He had officiated in Somali League championships, sometimes changing his route to the stadium to avoid explosions in the country. He had risen despite everything to the pinnacle of his profession. He was going to become the first Somali to officiate a World Cup match. On June 7, Ardan flew from Istanbul to Miami to join World Cup preparations. He had a valid US visa. At Miami International Airport, US Customs and Border Protection took him aside for additional inspection and then told him he could not enter. CBP's official statement said he was determined to be inadmissible due to vetting concerns. CBP gave no further explanation. A senior advisor to Somalia's Ministry of Youth and Sports told AFP that Artan had a valid US visa and should have been admitted. FIFA issued a statement. FIFA is not involved in host country immigration processes. A host government ultimately determines who receives a visa and who is admitted. Mr. Artan will be unable to train and officiate at the FIFA World Cup 2026. When reporters asked Andrew Giuliani, the executive director of the White House World Cup Task Force, he said the denial was for very good reasons. He provided no further explanation. June 10, 2026, Artan landed back in Mogadishu. Somalia is not playing in the World Cup, but from the scenes at the airport, you would not know it. Hundreds of supporters, blue berated police, journalists, all there for one man who had committed no crime and been denied his life's dream. He was Africa's best referee. He had a valid visa. He never got to referee a single World Cup match. Artan was not alone. Even teams and players who were allowed in paid a significant price. Iraq's striker Amin Hussein arrived at Chicago O'Hare Airport on June 6th. He was detained for 7 hours, questioned extensively, his phone inspected. After 7 hours, he was allowed in. His team's official photographer, Talal Salah, was detained at the same airport and denied entry, entirely sent home, citing waiting concerns. Iran's situation is perhaps the most extraordinary arrangement in World Cup history. Unable to obtain long-term visas for the United States, Iran's entire national team has set up its World Cup base in Mexico. For every game they play on American soil, they fly in, play, and fly out the same day. Like a visiting team that is not welcome to stay. On top of this, 15 Iranian officials and support staff were denied US visas altogether, including the head of the Iranian Football Federation. And Iran's entire fan ticket allocation has been revoked. Iranian supporters cannot attend World Cup games in the United States. Beyond the four banned countries, the impact is spreading. Dozens of Moroccan fans who had already bought tickets and booked hotels were denied travel visas. Ghanaian fans reported mass visa rejections without explanation. Even Swiss player Bril Embolo and several members of the South Africa team experienced visa processing delays. As of January 2026, 30 African countries face some form of US entry restriction. Africa is sending a record 10 teams to this expanded World Cup. But for the continent's fans, the tournament feels very far away. The contradiction at the heart of this story is most visible in a single image. February 4, 2026, the FIFA World Cup trophy sitting on Donald Trump's desk in the Oval Office as he signed executive orders. The symbol of global football in the room where America's most exclusionary immigration policies are made. In May 2025, Trump held a formal World Cup task force meeting with cabinet members and FIFA President Infantino. The mood was supposed to be celebratory. Instead, it became infamous for its warnings. When a reporter asked whether people who had participated in pro Palestinian protests should be concerned about visiting the US, Trump replied, Pam will come after you and you are going to have a big problem, referring to Attorney General Pam Bondi. Vice President J.D. Vance added, Of course, everybody is welcome, but when the time is up, they'll have to go home. Otherwise, they'll have to talk to Secretary Noem. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, who has led the administration's immigration crackdown, and in the lead up to the tournament, more than 120 civil organizations, including Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International, the ACLU, and the NASCP issued a joint travel advisory warning fans to exercise caution and have an emergency contingency plan when traveling to the United States. There is also the concern about ICE Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which has been conducting raids in communities across all 11 American host cities. Football fans from immigrant backgrounds, many of whom may have legal status but still fear interactions with immigration authorities, are anxious about attending games. The Council on Foreign Relations, one of America's most respected foreign policy institutions, published an analysis titled The US is co-hosting the World Cup, but much of the world can't attend. And through all of this, the question that civil society groups are asking most loudly, where is FIFA? In July 2025, more than 80 civil rights and labor organizations sent a formal letter to FIFA expressing deep concern over immigration policies that could impact the tournament. They called on FIFA to use its influence to encourage the US government to guarantee the fundamental rights of the millions of foreign visitors and fans. FIFA has yet to respond to that letter publicly. Its only major statement on the Artan case said in effect that immigration is the host country's responsibility, not FIFA's. Professor Jules Boykoff, author of Red Card, the 2026 World Cup, Sports Washing and the FIFA Grid Machine told NPR, I view the 2026 World Cup as a massive paradox. On one hand, more teams than ever participating. On the other hand, because of Trump's policies, it looks more like a World Cup of exclusion than inclusion. Critics point out that FIFA has in the past moved tournaments away from controversial hosts, imposed conditions on host countries, and used its financial leverage to push for change. The 2026 World Cup is generating $871 million in prize money alone and billions more in broadcasting rights. FIFA has enormous leverage. Whether it chose to use that leverage on behalf of the referee from Somalia or the fans from Senegal or the Iranian officials denied visas is a question FIFA has not answered. Now, the honest analysis. Both sides of this story. The Trump administration stated rationale for the travel bans and visa restrictions is national security. The official language to ensure that individuals approved for a visa do not endanger national security or public safety. The carve out for athletes and officials shows the administration is willing to make exceptions for the tournament's operational needs. And it is true that every country has the sovereign right to determine who enters its borders. These are factual points and they deserve to be stated. But critics make equally factual points. One, Omar Artan had a valid US visa. CBP has not explained what vetting concerns meant. Without explanation, the denial appears arbitrary. 2. The US made a specific written promise to FIFA in 2018 that all fans and officials would be admitted without discrimination. A host country breaking a formal commitment to a global sports body damages not just this tournament but America's credibility as a future host of global events. 3. The travel ban is not applied consistently. Some countries on the list have seen players admitted, others have seen officials denied. The inconsistency creates fear and uncertainty far beyond the specific cases we know about. 4. The warning language from senior officials, "Pam will come after you," is not the language of a country that wants the world to feel welcome. And here is an important context point. Even without the travel bans, the US visa system had a massive backlog. For fans from Brazil, wait times for tourism visas were 600 to 700 days, far longer than the time between the draw and the tournament. For India, 400 plus days. This is a systemic problem that predates Trump but has been made worse by his policies. Even Bril Embolo, a professional player at Monaco representing Switzerland but born in Cameroon, faced visa processing delays. It suggests the system is applying scrutiny based on birthplace or origin, not just current nationality. This controversy matters far beyond this tournament. The 2028 Olympics are being held in Los Angeles. The same Trump immigration framework, if it continues, will apply to the Olympics too. If a FIFA referee can be denied entry, will an Olympic athlete from a banned country face the same? That question is already being asked in sports governance circles around the world. FIFA's founding motto, "Football unites the world." A World Cup where four participating nations fans cannot enter the host country, where Africa's best referee was turned away, where players are detained for hours at airports, is not uniting the world. For Indian fans, the direct travel ban does not apply. But India faces 400 plus day visa wait times, meaning most Indian fans who wanted to attend would have needed to start the process in 2024 or earlier. And Indian Muslims traveling to the US, some analysts warn, may face additional scrutiny given the broader immigration environment. The Council on Foreign Relations summarized it bluntly. The US promised the world a World Cup. What it is delivering is a World Cup for some of the world. Let me end with the honest verdict. What is true? The 2026 FIFA World Cup is going ahead. The matches will be played, the goals will be scored, the trophy will be lifted. For billions of fans, including hundreds of millions of Indians, this will still be the greatest sporting event of the decade. What is also true, for the first time in World Cup history, fans from four participating nations cannot watch their teams play on the host country's soil. A decorated referee with a valid visa was turned back at the airport and denied his live stream with no explanation. Players were detained for hours. Officials denied visas. Fans who bought tickets were turned away. And the United States, which made formal written promises that this would not happen, broke those promises. The world's greatest football tournament is supposed to say one thing: everyone is welcome here, on the pitch and in the stands, regardless of where you're from. In 2026, for some people from some countries, that welcome was denied. A referee who overcame explosions on his way to work to reach football's high stage was turned back at an airport with no explanation. A tournament that promises to unite the world is excluding parts of it. That contradiction is the real story of the 2026 World Cup alongside every goal that is scored. If this video gave you value, please drop a like. It genuinely helps AK World Vision reach more people. Subscribe for more honest, in-depth coverage of sports and world news. And tell me in the comments, do you think FIFA should have done more to protect players, officials and fans from these immigration restrictions? Or is it the host country's right to control who enters? Drop your honest answer below. I read every comment. I am Amrendra Kumar. This is AK World Vision. See the world differently.